Imagine this. It's evening, you're deciding what to put on your plate, and tomorrow's blood sugar is quietly being negotiated with every bite. Not next month, not after a complicated diet, within the next 24 hours. The real trick isn't cutting all your favorite foods. It's choosing 7 specific vegetables and preparing them the right way, then eating them in a smart order. When you lead with vegetables, follow with protein, and save your rice or bread for last, you can smooth the spike that usually comes after meals without swearing off the foods you love. Tonight I'll give you a simple, vegetable-first plan with clear portions and easy pairings designed especially for people over 50. You'll see exactly how to build your plate, when to enjoy it, and how to measure your progress by tomorrow morning. And here's a curiosity most folks don't hear from their doctor's office. The order you eat, vegetables first, protein second, starch last, can blunt the surge in glucose even if you still include a small serving of rice or bread at the end. That small shift can change how you feel in the next 24 hours, steadier, clearer, less sleepy after meals, and less hungry at night. Let's start with why blood sugar tends to swing more after 50, because understanding this makes the plan feel realistic instead of restrictive. First, we naturally carry less muscle than we did in our 30s and 40s. Muscle is a glucose sponge. It helps pull sugar out of the bloodstream and store it safely. With less muscle, the same portion of pasta or bread can cause a higher bump in glucose. Second, stress loads tend to grow with responsibilities, parents aging, grandkids, finances. Stress hormones push the liver to release extra sugar and make the body a little more insulin resistant, especially in the evening. Third, sleep often gets choppier as we age. Short or poor quality sleep raises next-day glucose and makes us crave easy carbs. Finally, our pattern of eating shifts. Many people have lighter mornings and bigger dinners, heavy on starch, white rice, potatoes, bread, pasta, right when insulin response is naturally a bit weaker. None of this means you need a brand new personality or a boot camp diet. It means we put serious tools in your everyday meals, vegetables rich in fiber, water, and polyphenol to slow gastric emptying, improve how cells respond to insulin, and keep the rise of sugar gentle instead of steep. Before we jump into the vegetables and recipes, a word about safety and common sense. Nothing here replaces your prescribed medication or your clinician's advice. If you use insulin or sulfonylureas, any change that lowers your usual carbohydrate load can raise the risk of low sugar. That's why you'll keep an eye on your numbers and adjust with your care team if needed. If you take warfarin or another medication sensitive to vitamin K, keep your leafy greens consistent day to day and let your clinic know your pattern. Steady intake is safer than big swings. If reflux bothers you, go easy on acidic dressings and choose gentler seasonings or smaller amounts of lemon and vinegar. If you live with kidney disease, be mindful of potassium-rich vegetables and discuss ideal portions with your clinician. And if you have thyroid concerns, you'll favor cruciferous vegetables cooked lightly instead of big raw bowls. This plan is about calm, not shock. It meets you where you are and helps dinner work for you rather than against you. Here's exactly how to use this video over the next day. Tonight, begin dinner with 1 to 2 cups of non-starchy vegetables, raw or cooked, seasoned in a way you enjoy. Then eat your protein. Save your starch for last and keep it smaller than usual. Tomorrow morning, repeat the pattern at breakfast with a vegetable-forward start, and do it again at lunch. Measure your glucose when you wake up and again 1 to 2 hours after each meal if you're in the habit of checking. In a small notebook or your phone, write 3 things after each meal: what time you ate, which vegetable you led with, and how you felt 1 to 2 hours later: steady, sleepy, hungry, or satisfied. That tiny record turns guesswork into real feedback you can use. To make this easy to remember, think vegetables first, oil and acid in small helpful amounts, and attention to pace. Vegetables first means you either eat a small salad or a bowl of cooked vegetables 10 minutes before the main course, or you start your plate by eating the vegetable half first. Oil and acid means a light drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and, if you tolerate it, a squeeze of lemon or a spoon of mild vinegar on the vegetables. The fat slows digestion and helps you absorb fat-soluble nutrients. The gentle acid can soften the post-meal rise. Attention to pace means you chew slowly and aim to make half your plate non-starchy vegetables at each main meal. This keeps the meal from rushing into your bloodstream like a freight train. Now let's walk through the 7 vegetables that shine when your goal is lower glucose by tomorrow. We'll talk about why each one helps, exactly how to prepare it, simple pairings that taste good, and small cautions so you can tailor the plan to your body. Start with broccoli. Broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable with a remarkable mix of fiber, water, and bioactive compounds that help your cells respond to insulin more smoothly. You don't need to memorize any chemistry to benefit. You just need a quick, delicious routine. Steam broccoli florets until they're just tender, al dente, still bright green, usually 4 to 6 minutes depending on the size. Toss them with a teaspoon or 2 of extra virgin olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, a pinch of salt, and if you love it, a little minced garlic added after cooking so it stays sweet and not bitter. If you prefer a pan, do a fast sauté. Warm a pan, add a teaspoon of olive oil, toss in the broccoli with a splash of water, cover for a minute, then uncover and finish with garlic and lemon. Portion matters. Aim for 1 to 2 cups before your protein. Pair it with a piece of grilled fish or chicken, or tofu if you're plant-forward, then keep your rice or potato small and for last. If you live with hypothyroidism, gently cooking broccoli is your friend. Huge raw servings can be less comfortable for some, and cooking makes it kinder to the thyroid and gentler on digestion. If gas is an issue when you start adding crucifers, begin with a smaller portion and increase gradually over a week. Your gut adapts. Kale and other dark leafy greens, collards, lacinato kale, even tender chard, bring fiber, magnesium, and natural nitrates that support blood flow, satiety, and a calmer glucose curve. You can enjoy kale 2 easy ways. For a crisp, fresh start, slice the leaves very thin, sprinkle with a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of olive oil, and massage lightly for 30 seconds to soften. Add a squeeze of lemon if reflux isn't a problem, and you have a quick salad to eat first at dinner. For a warm version, sauté sliced kale in a teaspoon of olive oil with a small clove of garlic for 2 to 3 minutes, finishing with a splash of water to steam it tender. In the morning, kale slides beautifully into an omelet. 2 eggs, a handful of chopped kale, a spoon of onion, and you have a vegetable-first breakfast that keeps you steady. If you take warfarin, the key is consistency. Choose a daily amount of leafy greens and keep it steady so your clinic can dose you accurately. Greens help when they're part of a rhythm, not a once-a-week surprise. Cauliflower is a star because it has a very low glycemic load and can replace part of your usual starch without making dinner feel like punishment. Think of it as a gentle half-swap. Pulse raw cauliflower florets in a food processor until they resemble rice or grate them by hand. Sauté the rice in a pan with a teaspoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, and a splash of water for 5 to 7 minutes until tender. Now mix half cauliflower rice with half of your usual rice and you've just lowered the glucose impact of your meal without giving up the texture you enjoy. Cauliflower also makes a lovely mash. Steam florets until soft, drain well, then blend with a drizzle of olive oil, a little pepper, and a sprinkle of garlic powder until creamy. You can serve mashed cauliflower alongside roasted chicken and a small wedge of roasted potatoes saved for last. If cauliflower makes you gassy at first, play with texture. Well cooked and blended can be gentler, and adjust portion size while your gut catches up. Cabbage, green or red, is a high-fiber, high-crunch vegetable that fills you up for very few calories and slows the pace of your meal in the best way. A simple cabbage salad before dinner can be a blood sugar game changer because the crispness encourages slower chewing and the fiber lines your stomach, giving starch less of a runway. Slice cabbage thinly, toss with a teaspoon of olive oil and a teaspoon of lemon juice or mild vinegar. If you tolerate acid, add a pinch of salt, and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes to soften. Eat a small bowl 10 minutes before your main plate, or start your plate by eating the cabbage first. Cooked cabbage is excellent as well. A quick skillet sauté with garlic and a splash of broth. If you enjoy fermented cabbage like sauerkraut or kimchi, remember it can be high in sodium, so keep portions moderate if you monitor blood pressure. Fermented versions bring probiotics, fresh brings crunch. Both help you lead with vegetables. Okra deserves more attention than it gets. Inside each pod is a natural mucilage, a kind of plant gel, that, when cooked gently, can slow the absorption of carbohydrates from the rest of the meal. That doesn't mean you smother it in batter or cook it to death. It means you let it stay a little silky. Slice fresh okra in half lengthwise, toss with a teaspoon of olive oil, a pinch of salt, and grill or roast just until tender and lightly charred, keeping some of that soft interior. Or simmer okra gently with tomatoes, onions, and spices until just soft. Combine okra with beans and a lean protein for a complete, satisfying plate. Half beans, generous okra, and chicken or fish. If you take warfarin, note that okra contains some vitamin K. The key again is steady intake rather than big swings. If okra is new to you, start with a smaller portion and see how your digestion responds. Many people find that the gentle gel makes meals feel easier on their stomach and keeps the after-dinner glucose bump calmer. Eggplant brings soluble fiber and polyphenol that help with fullness and a smoother glucose curve, especially when prepared with modest oil. The trap with eggplant is its sponge-like flesh. It will soak up a cup of oil if you let it. The trick is thick slices, a light brush of oil, and dry heat. Cut eggplant into half-inch rounds or long slabs, brush lightly with olive oil, season with salt and pepper, and roast at a high temperature until tender and browned. Or make a bright caponata with minimal oil. Sauté onion and celery with a teaspoon of olive oil, add diced eggplant, tomatoes, capers, and a splash of vinegar, and simmer until soft. Pair eggplant with grilled chicken, canned tuna, or chickpeas, and keep bread or rice small and for last. Skip breaded, deep-fried eggplant. The combination of refined flour and excess oil can turn a beautiful vegetable into a blood sugar landmine. Cucumber is almost all water and fiber with practically no carbohydrate, which makes it a perfect pre-meal snack or first course. Slice a cucumber into rounds or spears, toss with a teaspoon of mild vinegar or lemon if you tolerate acid, a pinch of salt, and herbs like dill or mint. Eat it 10 minutes before your main plate to put a friendly speed bump in front of your starch. For a light, protein-helping starter, stir plain yogurt with grated cucumber, garlic, and mint for a quick tzatziki and enjoy a few spoonfuls before dinner. If reflux is an issue, lighten the acid and keep the yogurt thick and not too cold. The goal is a refreshing, hydrating start that takes the edge off hunger and sets the meal's pace. Now let's take these vegetables and build the anti-spike plate in a way you can repeat without thinking. Visualize your plate in 4 parts. Half of it, 2/4, belongs to non-starchy vegetables. Choose 2 from the 7 we just covered and prepare them simply. 1/4 of the plate is your protein: eggs, fish, chicken, tofu, tempeh, lean beef, or a generous scoop of legumes if you're plant-forward. The last quarter is your starch: the bread, rice, potato, pasta, or grain you enjoy. The order matters. Eat the vegetables first. Move to the protein next. Save the starch for last and keep it a smaller serving than you used to choose. You're not banishing starch, you're putting it in its place. That order, along with the fiber, water, and small amount of fat and acid on your vegetables, slows how quickly the meal becomes glucose in your blood. Because evenings tend to be starch-heavy, here's what to avoid at night while still enjoying your dinner. Skip juices and smoothies that blend fruits and vegetables into liquid sugar. Even if they're green, they act like sweet drinks in your body and spike quickly. Skip breaded and fried vegetables that hide flour and oil under a crisp crust. They turn the vegetable course into dessert without the joy. Be wary of sweet dressings and glazes. Many healthy salads carry hidden sugar. And avoid overcooking your vegetables into mush. When vegetables are cooked to the point of collapsing, their starch, if present, is more rapidly available. Keep them tender crisp or soft but intact, not a paste. Your teeth should have something to do. Let's put this into a precise 24-hour protocol you can start tonight. At dinner, this is day 0. You'll begin with a small bowl of crunchy cabbage or refreshing cucumber, dressed simply. Chew slowly. Then you'll build your main plate around broccoli or cauliflower, plus a protein like fish, chicken, eggs, tofu, or beans. If you want rice, mix half cauliflower rice with half your usual rice to create a lighter base, and save it for last. After dinner, take a 10 to 15-minute gentle walk. It's not a workout, it's a message to your muscles to pull sugar out of the bloodstream while you digest. Drink your last cup of water an hour or so before bed, not right at lights out, so you don't trade steady glucose for multiple bathroom trips. Set your meter or notes where you can see them. In the morning, day 1, measure your fasting glucose if that's part of your routine. For breakfast, lead with vegetables. An omelet with kale and onion, or leftover roasted eggplant stirred into scrambled eggs, is a strong choice. If you enjoy toast, eat it last and choose a small slice. At lunch, begin with okra or a cabbage salad, add your protein, and keep any starch for last. Check your glucose 1 to 2 hours after meals if you track it, and keep brief notes on energy and appetite. You're training your body and your habits at the same time. You might be wondering about seasonings because flavor is what keeps a plan alive. Think herbs and spice more than sugar and heavy sauces. Garlic, black pepper, smoked paprika, cumin, dill, parsley, thyme, rosemary, all add depth without glucose consequences. A teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil goes a long way towards satisfaction. If you tolerate mild acids, a squeeze of lemon or a teaspoon of vinegar brightens vegetables and may reduce the glucose surge in some people. If reflux visits often, use gentler acid or skip it and lean into herbs and olive oil. Salt your vegetables lightly but thoughtfully, especially if you monitor blood pressure. The flavors from herbs and a good olive oil let you use less salt without losing pleasure. Let's talk through a few stories that show how this looks in real life. Picture Maria, 66, who loves her evening rice and worries she'll have to give it up. She starts by adding a bowl of lemony cabbage 10 minutes before dinner and mixing half cauliflower rice with half jasmine rice. She eats the cabbage, then her fish and broccoli, and finally enjoys a small serving of her rice blend. She takes a short walk with her neighbor and notices the next morning her fasting number is down 10 points from the week before. Not a miracle, just a reordered meal and a vegetable swap. Or consider David, 71, who craves bread when he gets home. He slices a cucumber and stirs together a quick yogurt cucumber dip to eat while he roasts eggplant. By the time the eggplant and chicken are ready, the edge is off his hunger, he eats more slowly, and that nightly bread becomes a small slice at the very end rather than the center of dinner. The scale doesn't have to move for him to feel the difference. His after-dinner sleepiness fades, and he stops raiding the pantry at 9. A few cautions deserve their own moment. If you use insulin or sulfonylureas, a vegetable-first pattern and smaller starch portions can lower your post-meal glucose enough that your usual dose might be more than you need. That's good news, but it means you'll monitor and coordinate with your clinician so you stay safe. If you take warfarin, leafy greens like kale and collards should show up consistently, not sporadically, so your dosing stays accurate. You don't have to avoid them, you have to be predictable. If reflux flares with acid, use only olive oil and herbs on your vegetables and keep meals upright. Don't lie down right after eating. If you have a thyroid condition, especially hypothyroidism, you'll enjoy crucifers cooked lightly rather than huge raw salads. Your plate still gets the benefits without asking your thyroid to do extra work. And if you live with kidney disease, be mindful of potassium-rich vegetables and review portions with your care team. This is your body. Our job is to help you feed it wisely. Because repetition is the mother of confidence, let's go deeper into each of the 7 vegetables with portion guides, quick recipes, and smart pairings you can make with what's in your kitchen right now. When you buy broccoli, look for tight, deep green florets and firm stems. A standard serving for the vegetable first part of dinner is about 1 to 2 cups cooked, which starts as roughly 2 to 3 cups raw. Steam, sauté, or roast, whatever you'll actually do on a Tuesday night. A lemon garlic broccoli is 5 minutes. Steam florets, then toss with a teaspoon of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, a pinch of salt, and a clove of garlic minced and warmed in the residual heat. For variety, roast broccoli at high heat with a little oil until the tips brown. The charred edges add a nutty flavor that makes it feel like a treat. Pair with baked salmon or roast chicken and save a small baked potato for last with its skin on. If you love sauce, mix plain yogurt with lemon and pepper for a cool dollop that doesn't send glucose soaring. Kale can feel tough until you slice it thin. Strip the leaves from the stems, stack, roll into a cylinder, and slice into skinny ribbons. Massage with a teaspoon of olive oil and a pinch of salt until it turns dark and silky, then add lemon if tolerated. That's your salad starter. Or sauté kale with onions in a hot pan for a couple of minutes. The trick is not to drown it in oil. For breakfast, a kale omelet gets you vegetable first without thinking. 2 eggs, a handful of kale, a spoon of onion, and you're steady. For lunch, a chopped kale salad can lead your plate before a bowl of bean soup, helping that soup digest more slowly and kindly. If you're on warfarin, keep your kale days consistent. Your clinic will thank you. Cauliflower rice is a working person's trick. Pulse it on Sunday, store it in a bag, and sauté a cup or 2 whenever you want to blend it with cooked rice or tuck it under a stir-fry. A half and half blend makes your meal feel familiar and lowers the glucose hit. If you want comfort food, mashed cauliflower is your friend. Steam until falling apart soft, drain well, then blend with a teaspoon or 2 of olive oil, a sprinkle of salt, and roasted garlic if you love it. Serve this under a piece of meatloaf or alongside roast chicken and let your old mashed potato portion shrink without feeling deprived. If your digestion rebels at first, cook it thoroughly and try a smaller portion. Your gut learns quickly. Cabbage keeps well in the fridge and is ready when you are. For a pre-dinner slaw, slice thin, dress with a teaspoon of olive oil and a teaspoon of lemon juice or mild vinegar, salt, and let it rest. Add grated carrot if you want a bit of color and sweetness without sugar. Eat a small bowl before your main plate, or start your plate by eating the slaw first. For warm comfort, sauté cabbage with onions until tender and sweet. A splash of broth helps it soften without extra oil. Red cabbage is especially beautiful and brings extra polyphenol, but both colors work. If you enjoy sauerkraut, a small forkful as part of your vegetable course is fine. Just watch the sodium. The crunch alone will slow your meal and change your after-dinner numbers. Okra benefits from confidence. If you want less slime, cook it quickly over high heat or roast it. If you want that gentle gel for carbohydrate smoothing, cook it just until tender and keep some interior moisture. Toss halved okra with a teaspoon of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roast at high heat until the edges char slightly. Or simmer sliced okra with tomatoes and onion for a soft, spoonable side that wraps around beans and rice in a smaller portion. Pair with grilled fish or chicken and you have a plate that feels homey and keeps the starch last and light. If you're new to okra, buy a handful, test a small portion, and let your own body be the judge. Many people discover it's exactly the texture they needed to feel satisfied without refilling their plate. Eggplant loves heat, seasoning, and restraint with oil. Thick slices brushed lightly and roasted until tender give you meaty satisfaction without meat. Layer roasted eggplant with tomatoes and basil for a simple stack that leads your plate. Make a skillet caponata by sautéing onion and celery in a teaspoon of oil, then adding eggplant cubes, tomatoes, capers, and a splash of vinegar, simmering until soft and glossy. Spoon this over grilled chicken or stir in a can of chickpeas and you have a filling meal where bread can be a small, last bite for pleasure rather than the bulk of dinner. Avoid breading and deep frying. That version turns the clock back on your glucose goals. Cucumber is your "I'm hungry now" vegetable. It comes together in 1 minute. Slice, season, and start your meal with it. If you want protein in your starter, stir grated cucumber into plain yogurt with a pinch of salt and dill. Eat a few spoonfuls, then move to your main plate. The coolness calms appetite and keeps your chewing slow. If acid stings, skip the vinegar and use herbs and a pinch of salt for flavor. Cucumber is also perfect at lunch before a sandwich. Eat a plate of cucumber and tomato slices first, then have half the sandwich you used to eat and see how your afternoon feels. Because details add up to results, let's talk about the order of bites. It doesn't have to be fussy. If you're having chicken, broccoli, and a small baked potato, eat the broccoli first, then the chicken, then the potato. If you're having a bean bowl with rice, fill half the bowl with cauliflower rice and sautéed greens, add beans on top, and sprinkle a small scoop of rice last. Eat from the vegetable side first. If you're having a sandwich, eat a plate of cucumber and cabbage first, then half the sandwich, and save the other half for tomorrow's lunch or share it. If you're in a restaurant, ask for a side of roasted vegetables or a small salad to arrive first, then enjoy a smaller portion of the main. This isn't about being perfect, it's about giving your body a head start. The way you cook matters. Steam and sauté with modest oil, roast at high heat with a light brush of oil, and don't drown vegetables in creamy sauces. Keep textures in mind: tender crisp broccoli, soft but not collapsed cabbage, silky eggplant, lightly charred okra. Texture slows eating, and slower eating smooths glucose. If you love dipping sauces, make them savory rather than sweet. Yogurt herb, mustard yogurt, tahini lemon if tolerated, or olive oil with herbs. Keep a jar of nuts or seeds nearby. Pumpkin seeds on a salad add crunch and a bit of magnesium, but a tablespoon is plenty. Let's weave in movement and timing because they amplify what's on your plate. A 10 to 15 minute walk after dinner can lower the after-meal bump significantly. It doesn't have to be fast. The point is using your muscles while glucose is entering the bloodstream. During the day, get up every hour for a minute, roll through your feet, and take 10 slow heel raises holding a countertop. Those tiny acts teach your muscles to stay ready. Hydrate earlier in the day and keep the last glass of water about an hour before bed so you sleep through the night. Poor sleep drives glucose up the next day. And keep your lighting dim in the evening. Bright light at night can make your body behave as if it's daytime, which isn't ideal for glucose control. These are small, friendly choices, not chores. Because some people like a structured experiment, here's a 7-day rotation to help you find your personal favorites while building the habit. On day 1, make broccoli the star at dinner and note your fasting number the next morning and how you feel. On day 2, feature kale, salad before dinner and a kale omelet at breakfast. On day 3, use cauliflower to replace half of your usual rice or make a creamy mash. Watch your after-meal numbers. On day 4, start dinner with cabbage, raw or sautéed, and enjoy the crunch. On day 5, bring in okra and pair it with beans and a lean protein. On day 6, let eggplant lead with a roasted platter or caponata. On day 7, open with cucumber slices or a quick yogurt cucumber dip 10 minutes before your main plate. Throughout the week, keep your starch modest and last, take a short walk after dinner and write down what you notice. At the end, circle 2 vegetables that gave you the steadiest day and the best energy, and make them your week's anchors going forward. What about breakfast and lunch beyond eggs and salads? You can go savory without feeling like you're giving up comfort. Breakfast can be leftover roasted vegetables warmed in a pan with 2 eggs, or a bowl of warm cauliflower rice with sautéed kale, a spoon of cottage cheese or tofu, and black pepper. If you want toast, have it after you finish the bowl. Lunch can be a plate of cabbage slaw and grilled chicken, with a spoon of hummus and a few olives, then a small wedge of pita last if you'd like it. Or a bowl of vegetable soup with a side of cucumber and yogurt dip first. Sandwich lovers can build a plate first, half sandwich second, routine, vegetable plate, protein-heavy half sandwich, done. Creativity counts, rules don't. If you cook for a family that loves their starch, invite them in with swaps rather than ultimatums. Half cauliflower rice mixed into the pot, a bowl of broccoli on the table first, a platter of roasted eggplant they can take or leave. The house eats together, but you lead your own plate with vegetables. And if you're the only one at the table, make double portions of vegetables and use leftovers in tomorrow's breakfast or lunch. Warm vegetables in the morning are a surprisingly comforting way to start the day once you try it. Let's cover a few what-if questions because real life rarely follows a script. What if you're eating out and the menu is a parade of carbs? Ask for a side of vegetables or a simple salad first. If nothing green is available, order a broth-based soup as your first course and keep bread off the table until you've eaten some protein. What if you're traveling and your only options are a sandwich shop or a diner? Buy a small pack of cut vegetables at the market and eat them first, or ask for tomato and cucumber slices on the side, then have half a sandwich and save the rest. What if you accidentally overcook your vegetables? Smile and try again tomorrow. Your consistency matters more than one soggy night. What if you have a sweet craving after dinner? Brew a herbal tea, take your 10-minute walk, and see if the craving softens. If you still want something, choose a small square of dark chocolate after you've finished your vegetables and protein and given your meal a little time to settle. You're teaching your body, not forcing it. Because your body is unique, adjust the acid and oil to your comfort. If reflux bothers you, lighten the lemon and vinegar, and season with herbs, garlic, and a little olive oil. If you're managing cholesterol, remember that vegetables themselves are your main tool. The teaspoon or two of olive oil supports satisfaction and nutrient absorption without derailing your goals. If your blood pressure runs high, be mindful of sodium in ferments and dressings and lean on herbs for flavor. If you're watching potassium, coordinate with your clinician on portions of crucifers and greens. Every plan works better when it respects the person living it. You may wonder how quickly you'll see change. Many people notice a difference within a day: less post-meal sleepiness, steadier energy, and a fasting number that starts to drift down after a few evenings of vegetable-first dinners and short after-meal walks. Others feel the shift over a week as the routine settles in and the gut adjusts to more fiber. The goal is steady improvement, not a single perfect day. If you're using a continuous glucose monitor, you'll likely see the mountains after dinner shrink into smaller hills. If you're using a meter, the 1 to 2 hour numbers after meals become kinder. And how you feel, the clarity in the afternoon, the lack of pantry raids at 9, will tell you you're on the right path. A few final strategies can help your next 24 hours be even smoother. Plan vegetables before you're hungry. Wash and slice a head of cabbage on the weekend. It stays crisp for days. Pulse cauliflower rice and keep it ready. Roast a tray of eggplant, broccoli, and cauliflower and reheat portions during the week. Keep a bowl of cucumbers ready to slice. Put a bottle of olive oil and your favorite vinegar or lemon on the counter where you see them. Tiny convenience beats big intentions when dinner time comes. And keep your walking shoes in an easy-to-reach place. If they're buried, the walk won't happen. Now take a moment to imagine tomorrow. You start dinner with cucumber slices and a cool spoonful of yogurt. Your main plate is roasted chicken, a generous pile of broccoli with lemon and olive oil, and a small scoop of rice softened with cauliflower rice. You eat the vegetables first, then the chicken, then the rice. After dinner, you step outside for a 10-minute walk as the evening air cools. You sleep without that heavy, too full feeling. In the morning, your number is calmer than last week's. At breakfast, you warm leftover eggplant with eggs and save half a slice of toast for last. Lunch begins with a quick cabbage salad, then a bowl of bean soup, and you realize you're not hunting for snacks at 3 p.m. You didn't cut out everything. You simply led with the right vegetables and let starch play a smaller, later role. That's a plan you can live with. Remember, this isn't about perfect meals or punishing rules. It's about starting with the right vegetables and letting the rest of the plate follow. You'll lead with broccoli, kale, cauliflower, cabbage, okra, eggplant, and cucumber. You'll use a teaspoon or two of olive oil, a gentle squeeze of lemon or vinegar if you tolerate it, and a slower pace. You'll place protein in the middle and starch at the end. You'll take a short walk when you can. And you'll keep a small record for a day, then a week, letting your experience guide the next choices. Your body is remarkably responsive when you give it what it needs first. Curbing glucose swings after 50 isn't about cutting everything you enjoy. It's about changing the order of operations and choosing plants that do the heavy lifting quietly. If you're ready to give this a fair test, pick 2 of these vegetables to repeat in the next 24 hours and compare your curve. Keep your notes honest. If you feel steadier, let that be your motivation to continue. You have more control than you think, and it lives in the simple act of starting with vegetables. If you want to supercharge the effect while still enjoying food, there's a companion video waiting for you right now. Top 10 fruits that lower glucose in 24H. 99% of diabetics don't know. Fastest way. In it, we'll show you which fruits play nicely with your glucose and how to pair them so your day feels even more stable. Click over when you're ready, and let's keep helping your plate work for you, one calm, delicious meal at a time.